All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. You know, my director has said something there, and I want to use that line. We're coming back like we never left. And you know, something interesting about Wednesday is that we talk about issues that affect us at a personal level. And today we are talking about matters love. Does love have a price tag? That is a question of the day. And this morning we're joined by an incredible panel of diverse voices. We have students, psychologists, counselors, and of course, gender experts as well, who will be helping us explore this delicate balance. You know, when we talk about can true love really exist beyond material value? And you know, and so on. And just right next to me, we have Richard Ziwa, who is a counselor. And right next to Ziwa is Jane Gitau, psychologist. And of course, we have a panel here. I'll be giving you a chance to introduce yourself, of course, as we continue this conversation. And as always, remember to interact with us. Our social media platforms, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and YouTube, I beg your pardon. And there will be a number on your screen. Call in. We'll be receiving your calls to get to hear your comments and the questions that you have as well. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. And I'll be starting with you, Richard, of course. Does love truly have a price tag, or is it something beyond material value? What would you say?
Well, thank you, Anne. Just want to say that I think it's not a question of whether there's a price tag or not.
That is a question of the day.
It's self-explanatory. If love did not cost you something, pretty much you will not put a premium on it. But it should be said that there must be a delicate balance of the two, that love has a price tag to it, but can love really exist without money? No, it does not. It cannot exist without money. But as we go into the practice of the marriage and relationship, you discover that you can be divorced for plenty of money or no money at all. So it's a need to navigate this path by finding out what really works. There's a model that works. And in my practice, I'm indivisible from my values. And because of that, I've learned that you don't own anything. You're just a temporary custodian who's in stewardship of what has been given to you. Whether plenty of money or no money at all, you're just a steward. Because there's a time you have plenty of it, and there's a time when it bears wings and flies away. What do you do? So you need to find a balance that works to work the relationship. I've experienced people who come to me in counseling, and they say, I want to marry this young lady, but I don't have money. We all didn't have money when we were starting. But we must have something to go negotiate for the bride price. You get it? There are those who say, I want to marry her, but they're asking too much. Just get ready for that. They are going to ask you for money. They are going to ask you for something, and you should be ready to pay for it. Or you should have a relationship that should support you to validate your commitment to say that you love this wonderful lady. So there's a price tag tied to relationship, and money is indivisible from this process. So yes, there's a price tag to it.
All right. Jane, would you agree with Richard's sentiments? You know, we live in let's say, a generation where transactional love has been normalized. So will you agree with Ziwa that indeed love has a price tag to it?
Okay, love by itself is an emotion. It has no price tag. It's the expression and the manifestation of it that is actually can be quantifiable, because you cannot quantify love. But how you express it, you know, it is actually, it has a price tag. But love by itself has no price tag. Yeah, so if you look at, for example, think about even Bible. Think about Jesus himself who died on the cross. We say that he loved us so much that, you see, that, you talk about the expression, you know. So love by itself has no price tag at all. Because surely, how do you quantify it, you know? But expressions and the manifestations of love can be quantified. Because, for example, if you talk about relationships, you need time and effort. You may not necessarily have money, but you need time, you know, to express your love to him or to her, you know. You'll need, you know, you'll need to put up some effort, you know. That is why, for example, if someone was sick and I didn't take care of them, they were my husband or your wife, they're likely to say that you don't love me because you didn't take time with me. So love by itself may not be quantifiable, but manifestation of it, all expressions, and maintenance of the same can be quantified.
So we come back to money does really play a vital role in relationships, right, Jen?
Come again?
We come back to now money having a very vital role or playing a very vital role in relationships, right?
Well, yes and no, because when I talk about expressions, the expressions really doesn't have to be money. Because you see, for example, he could be my husband. He's working fine, you know, and he provides for us. But you see, like how I reciprocate, or maybe it is just to give him my time and the effort that I put, you know. Okay, when you talk about the quantifying, you can quantify it in material or whatever. For example, if you talk about marriage, like he said that you want to marry and you don't have money to marry. If you go to Turkana and Maasai, they'll give cows, you see? And I don't know how you look at that, though they also talk about quantifying the cows and all that. But as I say, is that love by itself it cannot be quantified because it's an emotion, yeah? But the expression of the same and manifestation of the same can be quantified in whichever you look at it. Yeah.
All right, asante sana, Jane, for that. Now, I want to get this deep with the panelists we have, and I'll start with you, Patience. What does putting a price tag on love mean to you?
Putting a price tag on love, I think, for me, I think love is not exactly transactional. Love mostly is expressed through material resources, but as per me, I would say that love is not transactional. It's just that we use the resources that we have to show the love that we have for someone. Yes.
All right. Edwin, tell us, what does putting a price tag on love mean to you?
Putting a price tag on love would mean that this love, you have put a price tag, and in terms of you cannot love somebody without the aspect of money being involved. And that ideally is not true, because love, like a fellow panelist has said, is an emotional connection which cannot be quantified. So love should not involve, or should not fully involve money. Love should be balanced in a way that money is important. Think of money as a sweetener in food. Food can be eaten without salt, but just add money, it becomes the aspect that is needed in love.
Do you think right now in this day and age, of course, Yvonne, I'm trying to master your name. Do you think in this day and age that true love can exist really without money? Manake tukiingia pale social media, you get comments like, apana huyo hana pesa. Or even your friends, when you're having conversation with your friends, and they ask you, akona pesa? So do you think that true love can really exist and thrive without money?
Thank you. So in my opinion, I believe it cannot. I'm not entirely revolving this love with money or relating it to money only, but as much as we are trying to revolve around the idea of money being an emotion, being something that it revolves around emotions and all that, and that commitment, again, we cannot ignore the fact that money has to be involved. And especially, this means that when it comes to financial commitment, we cannot avoid it, we cannot ignore it, and you cannot say it cannot be involved. Say when it comes to love, you find we have things like dating, right? So if we are dating, we'll have to go for dates, we'll have to gift each other, we have anniversaries, we have Valentines, we have to do all that. And when it comes to that, it will cost us money, because either I pay or you pay. At the end of the day, we'll have to use money. So I believe that money is a very important thing, not only from the fact that social media has put it on us that somebody has to have money, but in my opinion, and speaking from a personal perspective, it really has to be there because it strengthens relationship. It also gives a relationship security because most of the time when it comes to things like cheating, you find people cheat because of financial problems. You will find someone is saying, oh, I cheated on my boyfriend with this person because he has more money than me, because maybe you find a wife is cheating on their husband because he cannot provide. So this shows us that we cannot really ignore the fact that money is very, very important when it comes to love. It kind of has to come with it. It's like a package, if you ask me. Yes.
Well, Yvonne has given us a very packed explanation to what she
Yes.
thinks about this topic that you're having today. But I want to come to you, Dennis. You see, she has written something about financial security in relationships. What does that mean to you?
Okay. So financial security basically is the sense of stability that comes with knowing that you are able to cater for your own needs and for the needs of the people that you hold dear to you. And I'll start by saying that it is conditioned into you, in that whatever you will classify as financial security, being financially secure, is conditioned from a very young age, from the amount of exposure you have and what have you. So you find that even as you're coming to meet people in this context, in the guise of love, whatever is enough will vary from person to person, you know, and that mismatch and the exposure we have, especially now social media has come into play, and people are in some sort of competition as far as living their lives is concerned, and they want to compete with people who they are not on the same level with. See, you want to have a relationship with, or you model a relationship with someone who's been in the business in the relationship for quite some time. It becomes difficult and the expectations are varied. So you find that financial security varies between person to person, and it sets the expectations in which you place on other people. Take for example, right now, someone my age, if you ask them about financial security, who has had the fortunate or unfortunate exposure of dealing with people who are older than me, say working or in other parts of life which have a little bit more cash flow, you'll find that the definition of what they term as security is different to people who are dealing in my life. People who are just out of school trying to make things work. So to me, it varies between different people, and it's very, very subjective.
Dekra, karibu sana. I'm coming to you now. Now, you see, when you're talking about financial success in relationships, do you think right now the young people prioritize that?
What I can say is that, you know, different relationships, different people have different perceptions and different ways of doing things.
Hold your mic well.
Okay.
Yes, thank
So you get that. I can say at some point, yes, and then there's a degree of yes or no, because we have different people over different levels. Maybe even financially, we have different levels. There are those who are financially able, and there are those who are middle class, and those who are struggling. But what I can say is about you two people, these two people who are in relationship, is about to you understand each other more so in terms of finances. Like my take is money is compulsory, but it's not mandatory. Like it's not a must that it be there, but if I need be, we really need to look for it.
We need to have money for these relationships to thrive.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb, you know you're a gender expert, right? And you see, for men, umewekwa sana, you have to have money. How does this play out for you as men?
Okay, let me first by saying that love is no longer blind. It's really aware. It sees all things that happens for it as a matter of love is concerned. And I think the only challenge that we have is there's this term, I don't know whether it's in Swahili.
Just hold on to that thought. We're coming to you, Caleb. Ziva, how does these financial pressures affect mental health? Now in relationships, you see, young people are dating this young boy, this young one. Especially now you mentioned something about people coming to you, they want to get married, but they do not have money. How does this play out in their mental health?
It's important to be honest and candid when it comes to matters related to finances and relationship. I've been young and now I'm pretty old, and some things are returning to the Lord in installments. My hair is gone, my teeth are gone, and I'm a silver grey fox. You cannot sustain any healthy relationship without having some form of semblance of good finances in your life. You must get work, and as you get work, you're working, you're rewarded for the work that you're working. So that becomes a guiding impetus to which to fuel your relationship. That is to take care of your spouse. The shoe you wear, you have to buy it. The shirt you wear, you have to buy it. The food you eat, you have to buy it. The fuel you use to drive your car, you have to buy it. The house you sleep in, you have to pay for rent. The utility you use, water, you have to pay for it. Electricity, you have to pay for it. So literally, this utopia some young people might have gets to be busted as soon as you really get into the exercise and the practice of love, the one that you say you love. So to ignore the subject that money is not significant in relationship, like my panelist is saying, is to walk in blindness. But love is not blind. It can see loud and clearly. So one of the things I've learned over time, be as candid and honest and transparent about finances from the onset of your relationship, your unique relationship. It doesn't have to be everyone else's relationship, your relationship with their significant other. Because if you start off by being transparent and honest about your finances, you'll figure out pretty early on how to journey in your relationship and how you're going to navigate matters related to finances. That was my case. I met my spouse pretty early in life, and I discovered that she lives in Nairobi. I was living in Kampala. And when I compare and contrast, she had a vantage point than I did. Let me tell you, you have ever been broke, busted, and disgusted with life? Then you fall in love with a pretty girl. And when you fall in love with her, everyone is like, does he have money? And that question came to me. Yeah, I had to face head on over it and told her, well, I have some money, but not so much money. And we can work with what we have to navigate our own course. So it set the precedent right on how we're going to prioritize our spending, our budgetary proposals and commitment to getting married and doing our wedding. And because we did it pretty early, it took away undue pressure and anxieties that follow relationships that are young. So when we were getting married, we didn't go into an elaborate house. No, we said, let's go for this house. That's what we can afford in our budget. The pressure came, why are you staying in that kind of a house? You should get a big house. I'm like, it's just you and I. Let's take this house, we can afford it. We go to other events and, hey, you didn't come your car, where's your car? I'm like, I don't have a car. Like, how can you not have a car? I don't have a car. Because in my budgetary proposal, I can't afford it. You get it? I decide, but I can't afford it. So it takes away the pressure it would add to your mental anxieties, and you begin to filter through life from a place of being honest and transparent pretty early. And when it came to buying the car, my first car, it was a good opportunity because now we knew what we wanted. So we sat down and wrote in a black book. That's why I carried something like this. This is an accountability of my finances for the last 2 months. I'm able to print it out, can give it to anyone, and you can look through it and say, this is how much you've been able to spend. This is how much you've been able to earn. This is how much you've been able to save. I can trace my money. If you can't trace your money, you're in trouble. It's easy to earn money, but the trouble is we can't account for it. So if you said to yourself that you're going to be in love with someone, the first thing is be transparent with finances. Be candid and talk about it. I've counseled many couples. One of the biggest struggle is talk about money. You can talk about everything else, but money, it is his, hers, ours. And that is always a recipe for disaster. So I've seen, just like you, if you took note, Jeff Bezos decided to divorce his wife. The guy is very rich, plenty of money. Bill Gates chose to divorce his wife. The guy is rich, plenty of money. I can go on and mention them all. But why would people who have too much money separate? Then the problem is not money. It is somewhere else. So it's good to navigate. Why do people separate? Communication is the biggest subject. Learn to communicate pretty early as you start, and you'll be well in your mental faculties.
But you know, of course, before I bring in Jane, you know, you're talking from the marriage arena, right? But I want us to also bring this down to people who are just starting out in relationships. How do they now build this trust when you're talking about money now? You have something that you use to track your finances. How about these young couples that are just starting out?
As a young man that is reaching out to you, you've seen someone that you love. It's good to understand that love is of the heart. It's expressed in words and is made complete with a corresponding action. The trap is in the corresponding action. If you say you love me, it's in your heart. You've said it. But there's a way you need to validate it. So for a young gentleman who's at the university, it would be hard for me to say that I'm going to take you to Intercon or to take you to the latest hotel in town, the Tribe, and to dine out there. You're still in the university. The money you have is not your money. It's your father's money or your guardian's money. So what would be the most natural stimulus in me showing that I care for you without necessarily having sexual intercourse with you? I think there are some places you can go to. In my case, I used to date, and what I would do, I'll take someone at Java. Sorry, Java, but when I would take you at Java, does not necessarily mean that I'm going to buy everything that is in Java. Water is free. You just sit down and say, they come to serve you and say, look, can we serve you something? Like, yes, please. Would you care to give me a mug of hot water? No one is going to charge you for it. It is free. But in an ambience where you can intelligibly engage and have conversation with your spouse. My budget is low. If she wants to eat something, I pose it to her. Would you care to eat something? She would just say yes, because you took her out, so you must be able to pay the bill. So when she takes something out, you know, that one, I can afford to pay for it. But remember, you're candid and honest with each other. She will not ask something that was out of the margins of what you can afford. But you've taken her out. Two, you can go for a nature walk. I enjoy walking in Karura. I did that many times. How much do you pay at the gate entrance?
100.
Very little money. Go for a nature walk and talk. Relationships are built on conversation, healthy conversation. Talk about anything and everything and nothing at all. And it takes away the pressure off your mind, these anxieties that you might be carrying. Number three, get to know her family. Legitimately get to know her family. When they get to know you for who you are, believe me, even when it comes to the time when you set yourself in motion to say, I'm interested to marry this young lady, they will not ask anything ambiguous. They'll be kind towards you. In my case, I was a foreigner, marrying another young lady, totally different cultural experiences. In Kikuyu, you are supposed to come for 3 negotiations. In my case, it would be totally impractical to carry my family 3 times. Flying them in here, to and fro, it would be too hard. But because they got to know me for who I am, they did not put that pressure on me. They did everything in one single visit. While people are exiting the house, they're going with their wedding invitation, and we did an amazing wedding, beautiful wedding, because they got to know me for who I am. She does represent you to the family, and I do the same towards my family. So there's some things that when you're honest and candid, it takes the pressure off you as a young man. Be accountable. Have some strong, accountable relationships around you. The people who genuinely love and care for you, that is your support system. I believe that a young man, before you get into serious places of making destiny choices like getting married, in the day of your power, troops volunteer willingly and freely. But you must develop and create the culture of those relationships. The people who have gone ahead of you, subject yourself in that company of those people. They'll speak over you. They will bring you closer to teach you certain things. They will mentor you. They show you the way to do certain things. And you'll be fine.
Great. Jane, maybe now you can tell us these psychological impacts that financial stresses have on romantic relationships.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Of course, it has such a serious impact whereby the world demands this and you don't have it. You see, for example, now today's relationship, there's a lot of comparative study. People go to social media, you can see where he took his lady, where, I don't know where they went, and you're telling me to go to Karura. And others are taking theirs to South Africa, to Dubai, to wherever. I think the best thing I'll tell the young people is that, first of all, you must set your values. And there's something my fellow counselor has brought out, very, very key. Knowing yourself, believing in yourself, knowing who you are, and being sincere, being authentic. You see, when you're authentic and you have set values for yourself, I really don't care whether he lives in Runda and I'm living, I don't know where, in the Vundus. That is where I can afford for now, you know? So once you set your own values, you don't go to the social media just to see where the people are living. It doesn't give you pressure, you know? Because what becomes psychological is because of allowing pressure, you know, the peer pressure. Yeah, you are at the university. Maybe you're being paid for by Equity, the wings to fly or whatever. Your parents can't afford. Those are your parents. My parents cannot be your parents, you know? So you may come to, you know, you need to teach yourself, set for yourself values. Of course, it is not automatic because remember, you're still young. You're likely to keep comparing, but it is good to set values as you move along. Know who you are, know what you can afford, you know, because somebody may have a lot of money, but you'll be surprised that very guy who has no money can make the best husband or the best friend. We've seen people being butchered in Airbnb. And, you know, we are talking about love being transactional when you start applying pressure on people. You know, you give pressure to people, and if you don't have your own values, you realize that even at the university, for example, you'll keep giving yourself away, you know. You don't, somebody tells you, oh, I'm not, for example, I come to you, I'm demanding to be with you, and I'm telling you, let's just go. You can just trust me. Just because I have money, if somebody has money, even if you wanted to do HIV test, they'll not allow you. You can't trust me. But because they're taking you all over, you're like, this guy must be good, you see? So, and it becomes so costly for you because it can cost your life. You know, your life has just been bought by a cup of tea from Java, you know? So it is very, very good to set your own values and tell yourself whether somebody has money or not. These are my values. For example, if we have to engage, we'd have to go for tests and all those kind of things. And again, If I have to fly out, why am I flying out? Can I afford this tomorrow? If you're being taken to that job or wherever, whichever other place, and personally, this is what we used to do. Because I believe our times is a bit different in the sense that today, by the way, the water is bought. You can't just walk to Java and ask for water. You'll pay for it. Any other restaurant, you pay for it. But one thing personally I did, and I think I would encourage, and I actually encourage my children, when you walk into a restaurant, don't ask for anything that is beyond what you have in your pocket. Utachonga viazi, you know, or somebody will actually demand other things, because if you've gone to a very expensive hotel or Airbnb and they are paying for so much, and then they come demanding for you and you start giving stories, you'll be butchered. So we have to be very, very careful. And this comes actually also to the boy child, because right now it's not an issue of, you know, kuna mambo ya kufugwa, you know. So boy child anafugwa because that time anaona, hey, how come a girl can afford a sugar daddy? I can also afford, I can also be a Ben 10. So I think it is very, very important for people to set their own values. Set your own values and run with them. So it doesn't matter who comes into your life. Just have your own values. So as much as we are saying it doesn't have a price tag, and I think also when you talk about price tag, we are not really talking about money per se, because you see, price tag, as I said, efforts are quantifiable. For example, if my husband is out, your boyfriend or your fiancé is out of the country, it can get costly because you have to remain awake when you're supposed to be going to work. You know, when you're supposed to be going to bed, you have to remain awake so that the hours can at least, you know, because they don't tarry. If somebody got sick, you have to show, you know, you have to be there even when you're supposed to be in class. You know, you have to take them to the hospital and such kind of things. So you can actually quantify this love in so many other different ways. But please set your values and run by them or with them.
Interesting, Jane. Thank you so much for that comment. And you know, I cut you short, Caleb.
Yes.
You are telling us that love is not blind anymore.
Yes.
Maybe you can pick it up from there.
Yeah, let me retaliate what I said. I said that love is very awake. But what we need to check in the current world, the generational Gen Z that we have today, I think we are looking for two things. You need to have a capacity and character when you are looking at love. Do you have somebody with a capacity? Do they have a character to second this capacity? Because long are gone days when somebody will choose for you a spouse. You will find your families are ready, the relatives are ready with somebody's uncle's daughter somewhere for you. But today, we are more exposed that you get your own. But I also want to say that in the beginning, when you are starting love, you need to set your standards clear. You need to tell somebody you are getting to in love with what you actually have. Don't say you own Mount Kenya, while in CBD you don't even have
I'll give you the
Mkokoteni.
world.
Yes. So you tell somebody you will give them the world. And then also, sometimes you cut your coat according to your size. Don't tell a lady you go to CBD Nairobi, you want to go to an hotel like Hilton. Just go there in an hotel that you can afford. Nowadays, there are more of good things. You can even have some dawa. And you see, I'm also sensing something coming in future. This generation also has added what is really killing love is the social media. You find like we are 2 weeks to Valentine. Actually, it is 2 to 3 weeks to Valentine. You will find that's the time you will find a lot of breakups. While after a week after Valentine, people come back to their senses and know, oh, kumbe whoever I did to this was worse than where I am heading to because of peer pressure that our peers have. I think it is time that we need to come out clear. I think if you come out clear the very first day you meet somebody, tell somebody, okay, I'm Kale Paul. What I have is myself to maintain you. Don't say you are Kale Paul. I have some 2 Range Rovers, but one my dad is normally using. So I'll be going with you until that time my dad will be done with his errands. No, just be very clear and straight to the point, because love that is of this generation is no longer sleepy. It's very awake. You can tell me. And then we also don't go by, you want to do things like others are doing. And you know in real sense, you had never done such before. So go straight and set your goals and standards and ask what you want actually. You see what is killing other men is what I told you is the same. A man will take a lady out 5 times. He has never said his intentions. You take a lady today, she's asking you, okay, nitaona, I'll see. And then yourself, you don't tell the lady your words. Keep your words clear. Tell the lady, this is Caleb. I have seen this and this. This is why I'm coming to you. This is why I want this. This is why I don't want that. Period. Don't go to a lady. When you are paying bills, you cut your hair. And then you have not said anything. You pay Uber. She gets home. You don't even know how she gets home. You call the other day. So that is where I want to retaliate what the other panelist said, that communication is key. Yes, and it's a process. And sometimes in a communication we are told that meaning is individual and internal. To an extent that sometimes what you communicate is not what you mean. So make your communication come out clear. And be sure, if I want to tell patient today that patient, I see that you are the one to go with. I don't wait to say it tomorrow when it is
Say it
gone.
now.
You say it now. And then you go and get it with her. And then within a short time, I don't think if a lady has something to tell you, it can take, people are talking of 24 hours. If your intentions are clear, it can be done in 60 seconds. And you are done.
Is that a generational thing? Because, you know,
Yes.
I was having a story with a friend, and he said, Gen Zs, you know, right now, the Gen Zs that, you Gen Zs, I assume, right now, nyinyi ni sasa hivo. If somebody tells you they want to take you home, you go. And you know, for millennials, we have to get back and think about this. We have to give them 72 hours a week. But for Gen Zs, it's pop, let's go. Is that how it is for you guys, patients?
Yeah, most of the time it's actually what happens. For us, I think we know the answer immediately. Some of us might delay, but you know the answer. You know.
When you know, you know.
You know.
So, Caleb, I think that is what you're trying to allude to,
yes,
right?
and also you see, for the Gen Zs, theirs is not like the millennials at some point. Because for millennials, you see, you still go and look for their families. Some of the Gen Zs, when you take them through some cultural things, they will automatically give up. Some of them might see that it is more than enough. But you see, for some days, a spy will be sent to go and see what is actually there. How is that family? But you see, I think as we are moving on, as the panel said, we are supposed to set our, when you set your standard very clear and you be very honest in your conversation, you don't necessarily need to go. Like if I want to marry a Kikuyu and a Paluo, I know there are culturals in Kikuyu that I need to go and do. And then I also know she must also come to my home, and we are men of Nyadi. So she must come and see my place. So there are certain things that I will do once. For the second time, the whole family is in box and they are ready. They are yet to go with everybody. But there are certain things when you don't want to say them, like some of us, you don't want to tell a lady where is your home. You are only in Nairobi CBD. You are only going to Donholm. You go to Kilimani. You go where? And then the end of the day, you don't say where you are coming from. A lady asks you simple things. Are we going home for December? And then you are like, you don't communicate for a week because you are asked if you are really going home. And then you are very fast to go into Java. If that's why I'm coming back to character.
Java is receiving straight.
That's why I'm coming back to character and capacity. Even a lady will say, this gentleman, No. I'm going to a relationship that might end in premium tears. Yes.
All right, of course, interact with us, and we have some feedback here. She says love has a price tag. Besides, you must have money for you to be in a good relationship. Though some other things may also be inclusive. And we have a call from Nakuru. I think we can get that. Stacey Nyakundi is on the line. Stacey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. You know, I was just listening to you guys, and I'm just wondering, can you eat love? Surely. Yeah?
That is a very good question, and you know we have experts here for that.
Because lazima, at the end of the day, you won't just sit there loving each other, baby, you know. So unatafuta pesa kwanza.
Yeah.
So even when mimi nikitaka chali, natafuta ule mwenye ako na pesa. Nisikue hapo tunakaa tu omba. Tutafute pesa tupendane.
Thank you so much, Stacey, for that. And I'll direct that question to Jane, of course, because, you know, you brought in the aspect of, you know, love is an emotion and it doesn't have to be about money and material things. And Stacey's asking there, can we really eat love? That is Stacey Nyakundi from Nakuru asking that question.
Well, that's a good question, because one thing we have to realize is that sometimes when you talk about the price tag, we happen to be pushing it to men.
Yeah.
Yeah, for example, when she says that, the way I'm perceiving it is like the guy should have money so that he can come for me. Okay, I've been married for 28 years. And one thing I can tell you for free is that I have found myself taking care of the family financially, I think 3/4 of that time, because certain things happened. But I can tell you for free, I have been with my husband all along. And like right now, as we're talking, he's now the one who's taking care of us 100%. Yet now for the time we've been together, I'm the one who have been doing that. I'm not saying this to praise myself, because I'm putting this out very clearly. Right now, he's taking care of us 100%. So if, for example, you're going to take a guy in because of the money, certain things happen. For example, the guy can be ill, they can lose their job, you can be more stable. Because I said, for me, setting values is very key, and having a character, because it will make me choose him instead of him, as much as he may be having more money, because I'm looking at the values. What is the character of this guy? Just like he said that, I have 2 Range Rovers, but my dad goes out with one until, I know, what you're saying clearly is that both cars belongs to your father, isn't it? So you realize that if we go that way, it may not be the right direction. For example, if these guys are from campus, they are all in school. They are all working. At one point they'll all be working. Yeah. So this idea of my money is my money and his money is our money, that has not been realistic. So yako utafanyia nini? Mimi nitakuwa nikinunua nguo, kinunua chakula? No ways. I think we have to be realistic. You know, there's this notion, people talking out there, but my guy must have money. Now where did you go to school in the first place? You know, let us not, we can be saying all these things, but when it comes to reality, I can tell you for free, be ready to spend that money with each other. That is why love is not quantifiable, because he loves me and I also love him back, you know? So if he's sick, I don't kick him out because we cannot, I go out and look for a job. For example, he's the one who has been bringing money home. Now he's sick. So now, okay, it is true. He's loving me while sick, because you know the love does not change because now he's sick. He'll still love me back. But now there is no money. So now what do? We cannot eat love. So he's the one who was providing. I have to go out and look, isn't it? So the best thing is, let us be clear with these things. Just come together, because love is caring. I think we need to go now back biblical. What is love? We need to define it. What is love? Love is caring. Love is patient. Love is, you know, because the fact that he's sick today doesn't mean that he will not wake up tomorrow. My hubby has had a challenge with the jobs. But right now, by God's grace, he has a job and he's taking good care of us, and I really thank God. Suppose I threw him out yesterday, like many people would actually pressure you. So this social media thing is actually cheating people. Like now out here a few minutes ago.
Just hold on to that point, Jen. I'm sorry about that. We have Brenda from Kisumu. Brenda, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Anne. So my name is Brenda Weher from Kisumu. I'm watching guys from Kisumu, and I just wanted to give in my thoughts on this. I feel like there is a very big difference in terms of generational gap. I mean, there's the Gen Z and there's the millennials and there's the boomers and all that stuff. So I feel like we all have different perspectives when it comes to love. But throughout my little experience as a Gen Z, I feel like there is just lack of intentionality when it comes to relationships. Somebody will come to date you, not because they want to date you. I've had an experience whereby somebody dates me for an ego boost, and you go in there thinking that you have found the love of your life and end up being hurt. So it has become so transactional. Transactionality is not even in terms of money. It's deeply in terms of like intentionality, because somebody might not have money or somebody might have the money, but they want to date you maybe because you are somewhere or you're somewhere at a place. And I think for you guys, it really comes in squarely, especially for people in the limelight. You know, you might not get like that intentionality and that person who's really intentional for you. So I'd love to really, really ask with Caleb that there are certain things, certain values that have to be like put in place for a relationship to work before you even think about money. First of all is communication. Secondly is just the little things like honesty, intentionality, and just getting to understand what a person wants or what a person is looking out for. So that thing is clearly missing out in this Gen Z thing, or rather we are not taught on how to be intentional or how to have like intentional relationships. So
Thank
those are my views.
All right, thank you so much, Brenda, for that. And I know Brenda, so we are coming back with that input by Brenda. She says, right now relationships are not really intentional. So Brenda, thank you so much for your call. We'll be coming back with that comment from you. We take a break at this point.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2. What position were you? Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Join us as we explore the journeys of those who defy the odds and break barriers. We dive deep into the stories of triumph.
Sometimes when parenting a child with a special need or whatever disability, family life becomes a bit complicated.
All right, you see, this conversation has continued even when we were still on that break. So karibu sana, you're watching Morning Cafe, and the conversation today is, does love have a price tag? And Brenda from Kisumu, that is Brenda Weher, had called in And she said that right now we are not intentional with relationships. So I want to give that to you, Ziwa, a reaction to that call.
There's a good mentor in my life, and it's called Dr. John Maxwell. In one of the manuals we work with in our program, he says there's a need to go from good intentions to good actions. Because the reality is, if you set out yourself to make a destiny choice on who you want to be involved in a relationship, potentially you're working to getting married. It's critical for the person interested or involved in the relationship to know where you are going. That decision has a shelf time. As called by someone from the US, she's turning 62. She said something interesting, that I got a vision of who I want to get married to when I was 22. I'm still patient waiting for that person. You're 62, for heaven's sake. Do you get what I'm saying? The decision to get married has a shelf time. You can't keep on procrastinating that decision, especially Gen Z and millennials. So be categorical of when do you want to get married. Now, as much as you want every I dotted and every T crossed, the practice in real life is that we will never get perfect individuals in this realm. You'll get people who are wanting, who are lacking, and sometimes if by providence and luck, there's some who might have it all together. But the reality is, you just have to take a leap of faith. Follow your gut. There's that gut feeling that you have in you and say, I think I like this guy. I like his family. I like his values. I like his ambition and quest for life. Women marry potential. At least for the men, I can give you this for free. Women marry potential. When they get married to us, we don't have it all together. We promise the world out there. And for her, all she wants is like, but what are you doing with the hands that you have with you? You get it? Eh? You're talking of how you carry me the plane, you take me this place, but you cannot help me to open the door. So there are certain things you have to be candid about, that the decision to get married has a shelf time. So if you're in your age quadrant, you're 25, ideally, what do you think should be your marriable age? If you procrastinate that decision and cross over to 30, it will be very frustrating. Because the people will be seeing you as potential spouse, a partner, or someone might be interested in you. They will be always older than you. Not the ones they're with in university. Quite unlikely. There will be another quadrant that is looking at you. And while you're looking at them they are looking to those who are younger than you. With every opportunity you procrastinate that decision, which is a destiny decision, you might be self-sabotaging yourself. So go from good intentions to good actions and work out certain things that must be worked out. That is, work on you, develop you, consider personal growth as a priority for yourself. And as you do, you attract after your kind. And like I told you a short while ago, marry as close as to what you would ideally want without trying to change it. Because if you think, I'll marry this man, I'll change him down the road, the reality is, men, we don't change. We don't. You can ask my wife, she's my Valentine. She's born on Valentine's Day. The man she saw then and the man I am today, I'm pretty much still the same guy. Men, we don't change. Women change, but men don't change. So if you see a man that is lazy bum, that does not want to do work, does not want to engage with family and relationships that are critical for you, is always proud and arrogant, does not put a premium on the need to work on some nitty-gritty details that are critical for you and your family, red flags. Check out pretty early.
All right. And Edwin, you wanted to react to Brenda's call about intentionality.
Yeah, true. First of all, before I even get to that, I want to say that many youths have been diagnosed with a sickness called consumerism. This is when you don't know what is happening, but all of a sudden there's a wave that has come for you to do something. And we are victims of it. There is, for example, Black Friday. You had not planned to do anything, but since there is Black Friday, now you realize you want a new phone, you want something. Valentine's is also consumerism that I think many youths are victims of. This is an idea that is from the West. I was even researching on the Valentine. It's a pagan festival that is, I think, from the West. And now many youths, if you put yourself in that trap of being a victim of consumerism, you're in a lot of trouble because you cannot afford it. You're not in a position to cater for it. And the last time I was here for a show on suicide, I talked about social media. You saw there was a recent celebrity, if you are a fan of social media, Aziad, where there was a case where she was into a lot of debt, almost 400,000. Now you see, if you are able, or if you are a youth and you're looking at these celebrities, what they are doing and how they are pleasing their loved ones, and you're a comrade at a university, you basically can't afford. This is a fake lifestyle that people post on social media, and people forget that social media, people post what they want you to see. The moment you get a chance, a lifetime chance, one chance now is when you will post that you're in Hilton Hotel, but you never at Hilton Hotel, you just went for one day. Now people think that Hilton Hotel now is your lifestyle. Now when youths look at that, it becomes a problem. And what I'd advise youth and the Gen Zs is when looking for a partner, please make sure you look at somebody who is also vision oriented. Like my panelists have said, women are more potential based. They look at potential. They can even sense potential. So women just need that, and just push yourself. I also am a fan of motivational videos. I listened to Steve Harvey, and he said, for the married couples, for those joining couples, you need to have 4 accounts. You need to have a savings account that both of you partners deposit money there. You need to have an account for bills. You need to also have a personal account, and the wife also need to have their personal account. So that way anyone can enjoy what they're doing, at the same time being able to pay the bills. Because right now there is an issue that women, they say they're stepping into men's spaces. Now if you're stepping into men's spaces, we also expect you to pay some of the bills in the house. So if you're also stepping into men's spaces...
What do you mean by men's spaces?
You know, there was, traditionally there was patriarchy, where men basically do everything. I cater for food, housing, clothing, and everything. But now remember, women have been empowered and they're working. So you might get a woman who's earning the same salary as you, more than you. Now my money cannot be ours. My money is my money, your money is your money, our money is ours. But women want their money to be their money and your money to be her money. Now that cannot work. We need to...
I know somebody might call to respond to that, but I want to bring in Dekra now. Do you agree that something like, of course, Valentine's is coming, that it's consumerism, like Edwin has said?
Yeah, but I don't know what I can say.
Hold it up, please.
Love is a journey. It's not a one-day event. But now when you, maybe like someone said here, you get people break up during Valentine's. Yeah, you see now these people are, I can say, this is not genuine love. For genuine love, I think love is a journey. Even if we see those celebrities in social media, I think we should start following them from maybe the time they joined, because if you look at most celebrities, there's a time that they were really very low. Everybody has a journey. Most of them that I love are following social media celebrities. I just found out that these people have a history, have a journey. There is a time they were really very low. They really didn't have, but they have grown. Now they have. So for me, I can say love is a journey. It's not a one-day event. Now, when we say about Valentine's, you see this person maybe you met on January, and you really want something big during Valentine's. You have not even known each other that much that you really need somebody to do that big thing. But what I can say is, at least this guy can show a little effort, do something small, but not that big thing. Like, don't expect this person to move the world for you and you just met the other day. But at least should show a small effort, like a willing intention. Like this guy should show you that he's willing, but can see he really doesn't have something, but he's willing. He's willing to do it. Maybe when he'll be having something more, he'll be doing some bigger or better things. Like, I think it should show just the intention and the willingness to do it. Although, maybe not that financially stable, but he should show the urge and the willingness. And now, so you see, even this guy,
just hold on to that, kidogo, we are coming to you. Now we also have David Makongeni on call. David, good morning.
Good morning to you.
David from Makongeni. I said David Makongeni? David from Makongeni, how are you?
David, I'm fine, I'm doing good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your question?
So my question is, at what time exactly, and in the time gani fiti for you to find a spouse and maybe settle for marriage, something of the sort? Is it ukwe financial stable kwanza ama ungoje paka a certain age ndo anze kutafuta couple? So which is which? Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that question. Ziva, that is yours. And of course, Jen has been married for 28 years. Perfect panel to answer that question.
Let me ask Jen to first respond.
All right, Jen, you can go ahead.
Yeah, for me, the people that I counsel, and especially the university students, because I love young people.
Yeah.
You should walk with your life. You don't have to go all the way up to there. I look for money, I run up to there, then I come back and start looking for a girlfriend or whatever. My fellow counselor just said that you need to set your goals. And he said that you cannot afford to postpone. You need to know by when you should get married. No, and especially right now, we all know that we have a problem when it comes to jobs. You may have those nice certificates, but acquiring jobs has become an issue. So now what happens if you have just finished campus at 20, then here you are 21, you're counting, there's that countdown, or is it count up? You are 25, you still don't have a stable job, but you have a stable girlfriend. What are you supposed to do? So, and this is where we are saying, you never know. You've gone to school together, anaweza barikiwa mbele yako. Yeah, mi nikibarikiwa mbele yake, and we are focused, and we know where we are going. Why wouldn't I even pay the rent? He can also move in. I mean, we talked about the values, and we know where we are going. Just that hajabarikiwa, because I'm telling you, going there, you never know. Things might just turn around, and things become very, very good. So I think it's all about knowing when, for example, like I kept telling myself, I want to get married at 25, 26, latest. And sure enough, it came to pass. So I knew where I was going. My husband knew where he was going. So I wouldn't say that you look for money first, then you marry. Walk with your life. As long as you're not sleeping, you're not lazy, like he said. Kuna hizo kidogo unapata. Yeah, and right now, don't choose jobs. Yes, these are your certificate. You're a lawyer, you're an architect, you're whatever. But for now, because of the way the situation is, whatever come up, take it up. It will take you at least to go to Kaloleni before you come to Runda. But at least you'll still be on the road, Hautakuwa umekwama. So that even you as a guy, because of the nature of a man, the ego, though not ego per se, that you have, you may not want to be given hata pesa sijui ya kununua credo. Anye itakuwa mbaya hapo na hapo, So just walk in your small way. But please, if the time of marriage has come and somebody is ready, because you can go all the way, you have your money, but there's no one to marry, isn't it? Yeah, but that person, if they are ready, let the equation of money just take a backseat, kinda. Go to start somewhere. You wanted to start in Runda, you can't afford. Start in Dandora. You still come because you have at least you set yourself on the road. It's not like somebody who is still in the house. So as long as you're on the road, kuna vile, utaona jam, and then you tell yourself, no, I would rather, increase the speed because now there is no jam. So I would advise them, keep going. Keep going in your own small way. You'll keep on increasing the speed because when the vehicles are moving during the jam, you'll think they don't know how to move. Hizi gari zimeharibika ama ni nini? But watch as the jam opens. Those vehicles will speed at 120, 180 because there's no jam. So even you, set yourself on the road, the jam will clear.
You know, my director is asking a question. What if it ends on the road? Mafuta ikisha kwa jam. That is his question.
Sini sawa? Yeah. Because he said you need to, but by then you just need to be courageous. Stuff happen.
Yeah.
And they'll happen, even if you started on a high speed, even at 180, bado mafuta inaweza isha. Ikiisha, imeisha. So let us be courageous. Let us have faith. Because whether you have faith or you don't have faith, stuff happen. Yeah, they happen. But it's just, you need to be very positive and tell yourself, I'll make sure, for example, personally, I've told myself, I don't want to be the one who is messing this thing. I'll do my part 100%. And we must all know, you don't come together at 50%. You come together at 100%. This is where, when I'm talking to the young people, I encourage singleness. They say, one will come and another one, and they'll make one. So it is a whole person coming. So hii mambo ya tupatane 50-50, it's neither here nor there. Bring yourself 100%. I bring myself 100%, such that even if yours was not working, at least mine can support you. If mine was not working, yours can support me. But the problem comes in, wewe unaleta nini? Na wewe unaleta nini? Sasa zikipatana ziko tu hapa, wewe yako na 30 umekwama hapa, na yangu iko. So there's this gap. How do you fill up the gap? So please, I think we need to acknowledge it is the issue of singleness. I encourage singleness. In fact, I'm trying to quote, it's called who? I'll give it later. Whereby you need to know yourself. What do you want? Exactly what do you want? Because if you get to know what you want, really, you'll know, I wanted a guy who is tall, who is short, who is like this, who is like this. But when you don't know what you want, you start moving in the forest, you won't even pick, even when you get to what you want. Unaipita tu. So please, let us bring ourselves out 100% and do what you have to do. The more you give by there, the more you receive. So don't withhold, because love is caring, love is patience, love is all those things.
Again, we come back to the Bible again. I like that, Jane. Patience, I want to come back to you. Would you be okay providing for a man? Unaona Jane amesema pale, you have to come 100, nothing like 50-50. Would you be okay doing that?
I think I'll be okay, but I'll consider what is making me provide for you and you're not providing for me. I cannot provide for you and all you can do is just sit at the house. Like our fellow counselor has said, like you have to do something with your hands.
Yeah.
I can provide for you, yes, but I can provide for you if you are in a tight situation, like maybe you're sick, maybe you're going through something like a loss or something like that, or maybe you have moved from another country and you're just coming to settle in Kenya, something like that. But not like you tell me, oh, kuna job, okay, sawa, acha tutumie yako before nipate yangu. No. Yeah, you have to do something.
But you know, we have stay-at-home girlfriends, or wives. But can't we have stay-at-home boyfriends? What do you think about that?
I think the society does not allow stay-home boyfriends, but the society can allow stay-home girlfriends or wives. It is, and also God created a man to be a provider, but not necessarily a woman to be the provider. You see, God created a woman to be submissive to the husband, but also he created the man to treat the woman just like Christ loved the church. So the man should be very intentional about providing for the woman. And he should do all he can with his hands to provide the house.
Caleb, I see you have a very dissenting opinion, but I'm coming to you. Yvonne, would you be okay to provide for a man?
I mean, this clearly depends. Say currently I got a job, I am with this person, right? It also depends with how long have we been together. Because there is no way I am going to be in a 3 months relationship with you, and then all of a sudden you just want me now to be the provider and you want me to come through for you. I mean, I don't trust you enough. I mean, this is a relationship, and normally it begins with a man being at the upper hand, right? So for me, it depends with how long we have been together and what situation are we in that has led to me providing for you. Are you really sick? Have you lost your job? How bad is the situation for me to chip in? Personally, if you ask me, I can only provide if I am married to you. I am dating you and you want me to provide for you, really? I really cannot do that, you know, because the only time that I can provide is if I am your wife, and I know like I am your wife, and maybe some things have happened and I'm already committed to this. That is when I can come in. But we are in a relationship. I am still young. Say I'm 22, and now you want me to come provide for you. I mean, I can totally not do that. I will echo again, I can't do that. I really cannot. Yes, I really cannot do it. I really cannot do it.
Yeah, I agree with her. Like, if you have stayed with somebody for long, in that you have known this guy very well, you know when he's very low and when he have. So when you have stayed for somebody for long, you know when his lows and his highs. And now the time when he's low, I can really chip in. But you have just met the other day and today you are like, I'm low. I know that one cannot work that way.
All right, Dennis.
Yes.
You see, Jane mentioned, our psychologist, of course. She mentioned that sometimes as a man you can move in if you're not in a good space to provide or to take care of the family from where you sit. Would you move in to a woman's house?
This is funny because I've actually witnessed something happen as a result of that. And it was during the COVID period. This person did exactly what you're asking. And they stayed together until the lockdowns came in and things got thick. The guy lost his job. And the problem with moving into a woman's house is the responsibilities usually shift. You come and then the responsibilities of that house automatically shift to you as the person. So you find that in this case, when the job ended due to the lockdowns and other measures that happened as a result of COVID, the person was kicked out rather unceremoniously. Clothes were thrown from the 5th floor down. And yes. So it is rather sad and ego-breaking, but I think for me it's about expectation management.
Yeah.
Managing expectations, because there is what you want, and I don't disagree that is what you want, but then there is what is here, you know, what is qua ground, you know. So you find that you expect that A, B, C, and D should happen to you, but you're expecting that of a 23-year-old things. And I said again, due to the fortunacy or unfortunate circumstance of having experienced people from different walks of life, you should know that in different stages, there are different things that people go through at that particular stage in life. And you shouldn't set the bar in at such a point where it is unattainable for this person. Because again, as we've said, as a number of speakers have said before me, it's all about transforming the intention into action. And the thing I think they leave out is, do these actions have meaning? And different actions will mean different things to different people based on the level of exposure and many other things, you know. I can, again, we've said Valentine's is coming and everyone is quoting Valentine's. I can buy you a rose for Valentine's. That's an action. Someone else can take you somewhere whose value is not synonymous with this rose. it's still an action. See? But do these two actions have meaning? How are these two actions perceived in your own view? You see? So for me, it's all about expectation management. Know who you're dealing with and judge your expectations based on who you're dealing with.
Caleb,
Yes.
you know, when Patience was talking about something, men being fashioned to be providers and society, jinsi ambavyo it has fashioned men, or how we perceive men from a societal perspective. So an opinion to that?
Okay, for me,
Mm-hmm.
for me, you see, I've heard the daughters of Jezebel how they speak, and about both of them, actually all of them, are speaking as if they are sending the same message, but using different languages and terms. That tells you the kind of daughters of Jezebel that we are living with. Honestly, what is in the ground is actually different with what we see online. Like, I think there's only one constitution that is cut across, that is the Bible. You see, sometimes Bible says all other gifts are temporary, but the gifts of love endures forever. I think that is for Christ, and it ends there. This love of the daughters of Jezebel, when you move into their houses, that is the first disappointment you will get. Because these ladies, they multitask. That is one thing as men we don't do. The best thing a man can do, you just struggle on your own, and then if this lady is genuinely concerned about you, and that is why I bring in what I told you at the beginning, that is character and capacity. She will come in to where you are struggling and pay the bills where you are. But if you decide to move to where she is, I think you will see the longest day that even Gachagua did not see during the impeachment. Because if you make a mistake, and that is a mistake that no man should do, that you're making a mistake and going to a lady's house where you don't know who is paying the bill, who is paying the tokens, and who is paying the rent, you find maybe that day you might even find her making there's no electricity just in that house.
So,
yes.
Thank you so much for that, Caleb. We take a break at this point. You're watching Morning Cafe.
Are you ready to elevate your business game?
As long as you're earning something, there's always that opportunity to save. And you start with where you are.
Kama wewe ni mfanyabiashara, huwezi kaa bure, unajipanga taratibu vile inavyofaa.
Join us each week as we dive into the stories of the world's most driven entrepreneurs.
When you pay attention to detail, you get luxury items.
The Grind, where business meets brilliance. Tune in every Monday at 7:30 p.m. because your business deserves the best.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
All right, karibu sana. Welcome back. You know, we are talking about, does love have a price tag? And of course, you know, we have a question for you here, Ziwa, at this point. Because there is no love, hapo she will be seeking financial assistance from you. Do you agree?
Different strokes for different folks. Because what is your motivation into that relationship? What's the quest that brings you into this relationship? Is it money? If that's your quest, you'll not be disappointed. you get exactly what you're looking for. Because vibrations that you send out have a way they reciprocate back to you. But what causes a sustainable, healthy relationship is not to live in ignorance that you need money to make love happen and to make it enjoyable. You don't go into a relationship totally oblivious of the fact that there are things that must be paid for in cash.
Yeah.
Okay? But you see, money is an idea. As much as you think it is paper, it is an idea. Just keep on creating and innovating. You'll be amazed money will find you. But don't let that be the hindrance to generally care and put a premium on an individual. If you find your significant other, let your quest be that you want to live a life of significance with that individual. Let it not be that you want to get what they have with them to benefit you. Let me tell you, in this life, if you dig in a place where you're looking for water in a dry desert, it doesn't matter how deep you dig, all you get is sand and gravel. But if you dig in a place where there's water, you strike water at one time. The same is true in relationship. If you cultivate a healthy, vibrant relationship with an individual that you think potentially is someone I want to work with in life, you will get exactly what you're looking for. Let me give a case in point in my own experience. When I married my wife, I'm the one who came from a foreign country to join with my wife. That means I came the way I was. Right? We did the wedding. I took her for honeymoon here in Nairobi, then later paid for the honeymoon, went to Dar es Salaam, then we came back from Dar es Salaam, and we set ourselves to say, let's start a life. I gave her the privilege, set her the money, organize a wedding that she dreamt of, your own wedding, your dream wedding. But when we finished, we have to set the trajectory where we want to live. Ideally, we had something we wanted to live. But marriage is about negotiation. Take note of that word, negotiate. You constantly negotiate. You don't do it the first time you're getting married. You do it all through the journey of marriage. So we had to negotiate and say, I think a 3-bedroom house would be good. A 2-bedroom house is equally good. But what would work for us? We're just the two of us. How about let's use the house you are living in. I don't have to go through the hassle of looking for another house. The house you're using, let's work with that. So we worked with that house with my wife, and we're there for 3 years. So when we got our first baby, that's when we said, now let's move to another house. Some people might have a problem with that, but if you don't have a problem with that with your significant other, everything else out there is noise. What works is what you have chosen to work with, the two of you. If you can work with that and negotiate for that and it's working for you, work it. Marriage is about work. Work it. You can work with plenty and you can work with nothing at all. Because that's the way life is. Sometimes you have plenty, sometimes you have less, sometimes you don't have anything at all. Will you cease to work? Work it. So I know that as you're coming to this field where you are trying to identify potentially who to live your life with, I would recommend this young man is a good candidate. I've heard you talk and I'm like, if there's some young ladies out there listening, look out for this young man. He's talking of daughters of Jezebel, flee from them. But I think when you think about where the premise with which he was talking about, he was very categorical that it is what it is.
Managing expectation.
Manage your expectation. Don't have exaggerated expectation with the person that you say, I want this particular individual. And if you're ignorant, it's okay to be ignorant. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not an insult. Just say, I don't know. But it's not okay not to know. Seek to know. There are people out there who are willing to help you, to coach you. Tell the comrades. Let them invite me. I will help them. I will talk to them. I will coach them. I will show them the way to do it. It is doable. And marriage is not for enduring. It's for enjoying. And marriage is good. Anyone who tells you otherwise is telling a lie. Marriage is actually hilariously good.
Amen.
You must work it. Some of the things that are flooding out there is because some good relationships are not out there for people to see it. I was supposed to be here with my wife, but we had a long day yesterday, so I couldn't bring her with me. But there are some things that I know that are true. So for the comrades, invite me with my wife, we'll come and help you, and we'll add value to your relationship.
All right. Of course, if you want to be part of this conversation, remember to call us. The number is on your screen. We are also on Facebook and YouTube live at TV47 Kenya on both platforms. So, Jen, should a partner's ability to provide financially determine their worth in a relationship?
Okay, yes and no. Yes and no, because again, I come back to the basic. Yes, because providing, what are you providing? What are you bringing on the table? And for me, I will keep on insisting, not necessarily money. It is your capacity. You bring on the table your capacity. So if you bring in your capacity, it can actually determine your worth. And so am I. So people should be able to bring on the table something, and that can determine their worth. Yes, what are you bringing on the table? You as a girl, you're asking this guy, you should have, like now, I see a lot of, in the social media, I see a lot of people saying, I'm looking for financial stable girl or financial. Nowadays, men are also very daring. Even them, they are looking for financial stable women. Hakuna mtu anataka mtu amesota, you know. But the issue here is, it's about what you're bringing on the table. First of all, bring you. We kuja kwanza, you know, because at the end of the day, wewe ndio tuna deal na wewe. And then once you come on the table, what are you trading? What are you bringing on the table? That is very, very key. It will determine the worth. Yeah, because when you're putting on the table your character, you're putting on the table your values, and that becomes quite key for a decision making. Yeah, other money alone, surely, what decision will you make? Twende tukakule basi, zikiisha, then what? What is left? So it is true. It can determine the worth. Yeah.
All right. So, Patience, how do you students manage relationships with very little finances? I might ask that to the men. You can also chip in.
I think maybe I'll say, for us comrades, we will say that we really consider money. As Gen Z, oh my God. Even when you tell someone, I have a boyfriend or I have a potential someone, they'll ask me, nakona do? So, yeah, we really, as Gen Zs, we really put in the factor of money. So how we handle the relationships in money, I'll say it depends with your values. There are some who cannot, there are some girls, personally, I have seen that they cannot buy for themselves anything. They'll rely on the man. They'll say, it's your duty. If you want to chase me, then do your best with your resources. There are some who are like, okay, I'm not really a materialistic person, so they'll work with whatever you have. And I'll advise that, because many of the relationships fall because the girl was materialistic. I have heard of a story where a guy gives out his card and gives to the girl. The girl goes, buys everything she wants, goes out for hangouts with her girls, and then ends up using the boy just for the money. And the guy ends up in resentment. He cannot even imagine of giving another girl a chance, and because of that one person who used him wrongly. So I'll advise for girls not to really put in money as a foundation, but use money as a tool. Yes.
Okay. Edwin, how do you manage relationships? I want to assume in a situation where finances are very limited. In this day and age where women, to be specific, really prioritize money. Patients, as Gen Z, they prioritize money. How do you do it?
Indeed, women have really prioritized money, but you have to be smart in a way that you have to look for the perfect or close to perfect to what you want. You know, as men, we have the ability to, if you just look at a woman's dressing code, you look at how just presented herself, you can literally tell what type of class. There's a lady that you can just look at, na ujue huyu, this one is definitely a level that I cannot reach. So as men, you need to look at your class, where you come from, and women also need to look at their class. Women, indeed, there are women who are even requesting their boyfriend things that even if you combine their whole family, they cannot even afford. Now they want to bombard you with something that you cannot afford. So you have to know how you manage finances, because generally as a university students, you are solely relying money from your parents or maybe a side hustle. So to the most, you cannot even earn over 50,000. So maybe that 40,000 when you're doing a side hustle or the upkeep that your parents sends you or something, but you have to manage it well in a way that the lady also contributes. If you're coming over, maybe on the weekend, you can do maybe some chores, because I insist that the gender roles must remain in order for a relationship to thrive. The man has to play the head, the woman has to play the feminine roles. That's how it's going to work. That's how it's even in the Bible. And you see relationships even in the West failing. It's because they're trying to disorient the entire role. But again, I agree, when you're not in a good situation, the lady is allowed to chip in, but not as an excuse for men not to be in the comfort zone that now nimewekwa. You need to also step up and fight for your relationship. Don't put too much on the woman, because like I've said, consumerism is real. Don't follow what the social market wants you to. You've seen even the panelists here, they're saying even if there's a crisis, they will never help a woman. They'll never help a man. So so if you are investing on somebody's on Valentine, kama haezi kusaidia. So men also need to know that this is a very critical thing. You don't have to go overboard for Valentine's. You don't have to go overboard for every event that comes. I don't know, girlfriend's day, which date, boyfriend's day. Those are consumerism tactics, and you can just do a cookout of 1,000 shillings, go to Karura, do a walkout, walk at night, go watch the stars. People used to watch the stars.
Yes.
Nowadays, people don't do that. And with that just simple lifestyle.
Enjoy the breeze by the lakeside.
Enjoy the breeze by the lakeside. Those are things that you can just do. And within your means, the relationship will be as jovial as ever. When you guys get a job, now you can handle it from there. But as for now, don't put too much pressure on the boyfriend. Don't put too much on the girlfriend. Just enjoy life.
And I love that you've also brought in the aspect of not much pressure on the girlfriend and not much pressure on the boyfriend either. But Caleb, I want to come to you. Why has society fashioned it to be like it's as if women love money more than men? Don't you men love money as well?
Sons of Jezebel.
Okay, men love money, but not to an extent that the ladies do. Because I will take you back to some kind of business in Form 1 back long time ago. Not very long time ago, but in Form 1 there was this topic that was talking about scarcity, opportunity cost, and choice. What matters for you? That's the difference with men and ladies. There's scarcity, opportunity cost, and choice. You see, like ladies, a lady might not care whether there will be what to be consumed tomorrow. They want to consume everything today. Like for a man,
Actually, women are planners.
It's the opposite.
Women are planners.
But you see what they want to consume, they will keep theirs. And that's now their milking men. You see. Like you see for Valentine, ladies are not even worried like men are worried in Valentine Day. No, ladies are only worried on the venue. That's what they're worried about. They're only worried about the venue, where they're being taken to. But for men are worried about what they are going to give. That's why I'm taking what they will wear, how they are getting the flowers, how they will get those other gifts that are not flowers. Some of them, how are they getting the expensive rings to give, rings that will not be worn, that maybe you give and they are kept somewhere. Well, they are only taken when somebody is seeing you. So I think for men outside there, I will ask them, and I will also urge them that the only thing ladies can give them is to massage their emotions. I think that is what they can give them perfectly. But if you think ladies will be outside there to share with you their wealth, then you are doomed.
I would love for you to react to that, Richard.
He's talking about sons of Jezebel. I think in your life, there's a sense of reciprocity in everything you do. What you give out is what you receive. It's quite unlikely that you set out to really genuinely love and care for your spouse or your significant other or your potential friend, and they don't reciprocate. If they don't reciprocate, that should be a red flag for you to check out. Don't date like as if you're married. No. This thing of dating for several years. Hey, my friend, someone who's getting married is already getting children and you're in a relationship for 7 years. Who are you dating? No. Have a time frame within which you should be able to have a closure in that relationship. But in practice, I stand out to correct him that there's a sense of reciprocity in a relationship, a healthy relationship, that is. There are some which are toxic relationships. Don't expect anything. Like I said, if you're digging in a dry well, the best you can get is gravel and sand. If it's a toxic relationship, it is toxic. Check out. Don't even waste time about it. If you're praying, pray, but pray when he's there, not here. You get it? So the same is true when it comes to, in my case, my wife is born on Valentine's Day. So on 14th, I don't even have a choice about it. I have to celebrate her. In fact, I always celebrate her birthday way early so that Valentine is our Valentine. It's not your Valentine. It's both our Valentine. But birthday, I celebrate her birthday separate. And it makes it a more meaningful, joyful experience. One, my son is born on the 23rd of January. I'm born on the 25th of January. Then she's born on the 14th of February. So somehow we have no choice but to celebrate each other. So she comes in early to celebrate me. So I look forward to anticipate the opportunity to genuinely love and care for her. Because there are things she does on my birthday and I'm like, wow, okay, that's good. But when you look at a man, generally, the way we are wired to give. You look at me from top to end. What is there to receive? That's the honest truth. We are wired to give, and a man, any good, honest, decent man finds pleasure in giving. It doesn't matter how much volume of money you make. Any good, decent man, you find pleasure to give that money. Or whatever that you have, you find great pleasure to let it out, to be distributed to benefit other people. That is my own experience. The same is true with women. They find pleasure to receive, not to receive for themselves. Any decent, honest woman receives to multiply what you have given to them. That has been my own experience with my own spouse, my own girlfriend, and it has worked. Everything she has received, she has found a way to multiply it exponentially. If it is a thought, she multiplies it. If it's a business idea, she multiplies it. If it's an investment, she multiplies it. If it is the commitment to, even if it is just intimating herself sexually and give her a seed, she gives me a baby. Praise God. So there's so many things out there that work in your vantage point if you have the correct attitude. The correct attitude. You know, attitude determines the way that you view the world around you. If you have it blurred and somehow you're looking through a murky lens, that's the best you can see. And I don't blame you. You just need help, someone to help you to restructure you, to view things differently. If you come from a toxic marriage, toxic family, toxic relationship, where your mom was always constantly conniving and stealing, manipulative about your dad, quite likely you think every woman out there is out to do that. If those older siblings you've grown up with could be sisters or friends in the community where you've grown up, They're always doing the same things. Quite likely you perceive women to be that way. And you will attract exactly that. But if you come out on this other side of the quadrant, you'll be amazed. There's some amazing, wonderful women, enterprising entrepreneur women who are resourceful, skilled. They are not intimidated about you because they know your worth, you know my worth. So we're out there to benefit each other. That's what you will attract. So as we go into this year, just set yourself to have a different positive attitude towards life. There's a lot out there and you have choices. Don't limit your options. It's like buying a car. I like certain spec of cars. And if I have this car, I'm not limited to an orange car or blue car or red car or yellow car. They are all cars. So choose what works for you, what brings you pleasure and satisfaction in that. The same is true with who you identify as someone potentially you want to engage yourself with, to stay in a relationship with, to work in a relationship with or a marriage. Be sure that's something that you want to keep around with for a long time. When you're married, my case, I find it such a wonderful experience when I sit back and talk with my wife for so long and just sit and just talking to each other. I enjoy her thoughts. She enjoys my thoughts. But the thoughts come with other pleasures. I massage her feet while we are talking. And while you're massaging the feet, there are other things that come alongside the massaging the feet. You're not married. I won't tell you. Get married, you get to know her. But the reality is there's a sense of reciprocity when you're in a good, well-meaningful relationship and you're out to give. As a man, set yourself out to give. They can never deplete you. You can only give and give and give and give. And there's pleasure in doing it.
Jen, then you see, Caleb mentioned something about women being out there to milk out of men. What do you think of that statement?
Maybe to the sons of Jezebel.
Sons of Jezebel. I think, as you said, attitude is very, very key. Is very, very key. And then your values. What are you marketing by the? What are you selling? Ile kitu naweka kwa soko, you know, it will determine the buyer. So maybe people who have been coming to you, they have been coming to milk you because of the way you know, the way you present yourself, the way you package yourself is very, very key, you know. Because if you package yourself in a way that mi naona we are not going anywhere, kuna vile nitakwambia twende Java, tukisha kula naishia, you know. I mean, ama twende wherever it is, tukisha malizana naishia. So if those are the kind of people that you've been getting, for sure, you may look at it that way. But the people to blame or the person to blame is actually you. Because you see, like, for me, I ask people, what scent are you sending out there? Because if somebody poops there, and then you set up some rose flowers here, two very key insects will come in here. And they'll all go to their direction. A fly will come, go right there. And what else? A bee will come, go right to the flowers. So who sends the bee to the flowers and the fly to the whatever? It's a scent. So what scent are you sending in the market? Being a young woman, being a young man, what are you sending? Yeah, because what you're sending will actually depend. You see, like now there are girls, for example, they will come for counseling. They always, why do I always attract old men? You know, they'll ask you that. How come I always attract old men? How come I always attract married women? You're a man. So it depends. What scent are you sending in the market? So please manage your scent. Manage your scent. And I can tell you for free, the report will be good. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jane, for that. And you know, time is not on our side, so I want us to wrap it up. And Evans Wanyama says money. David Wehui says money. Otieno Vincent says love. And the journalist Rasha says love. Lucy Njoki says money. So I want to pose this question to you. Patience, love or money?
I think I will choose love.
Edwin, love or money?
Both.
Yvonne, love or money?
Allow me to go with both. Same here.
Okay.
Yes.
Dennis, love or money?
You don't have to ask. I'm big on love.
All right. Declan, love or money?
I think I will go with love because when there is genuine love, money will always come.
Amen.
Yeah.
Okay. Love or money, Caleb?
I'll go with money automatically.
You go with what?
Money. Because money is everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Money will bring
Sabuni ya roho.
All right, thank you so much. Our time is done here. So thank you so much, of course, Patience, Edwin, Yvonne. I've mastered your names, Dennis, Dekra, Caleb, and of course our experts, that is Richard and Jane, for making time for us for this very, very needed conversation. A conversation that we need to have, of course. So that brings us to the end of Morning Cafe. Thank you so much for being here. Fred and I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Good morning.